T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Aric Fiskus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Australian rules football.
Yes. Ichigoi.
Silent. When the music stops, it's very silent.
It was.
Can't have that.
No. Welcome to episode 161 of the
Wow.
Play By Ear podcast. We were just talking off air. I had not thought about it in a while. It's been over 4 years since we started this whole basket of shenanigans and such.
Crazy.
Insane.
All right. We have
Savannah.
4 people in the room.
Savannah.
Savannah's with us. And we got 5. So please check in. And we can tell who's here. Or
A belated
times-
happy anniversary, Savannah and John.
oh, how many? Any idea how many anniversaries?
I don't know.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Gary Troutman.
Yo!
Oh.
All right. Well, Savannah will answer that question, maybe.
So,
All right. As I said, episode 161 of the Play It By Ear podcast.
10.
10. Oh, that's a big one. It's a big
it's
one.
It's a big one.
Double digits.
That's what she said.
Mr. Heron in the
Wow.
historian.
Celia.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello, dear.
Chris. James.
So I had Chris's comment up on the screen, Brady, and you said, hello, dear.
Oh, I was actually talking to Celia, but
Can't
Hey,
believe
or
it.
it could
For the first time in I don't know how many years, well, maybe 4,
James.
I have forgotten to light my candle, my podcast candle.
I'd rather light a candle than curse your darkness. From the movie Raising Arizona.
Celia, if you're listening, can you hand me the lighter? I got some blackberry bourbon to burn.
Blackberry bourbon. He's gonna turn around that glass there, and she's gonna be giving him a fruit basket up against the glass.
Pressing ham.
Oh,
Or she might light something on fire that's not that
Thank you.
candle.
like your
Man, this would have gone off the rails quickly had I not had my torch lit.
You got your wand.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Now we can continue.
Whipping your wand out on screen. Come on.
Nice alliteration there.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday wand whipping day.
Wow.
Wow, it's Wednesday wand whipping day.
It's any
It really
day-
is.
It's any day that ends in Y, isn't it? Slow burn, Brady. Slow
Yeah,
burn.
yeah. Took me there. Just took me
All
there.
right. Well, if you've never been here before, I don't know. I'm assuming all 11 have been here before. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't, we have a topic we'll talk about. We'll exhaust said topic and we'll move on to a game later on called. We kind of played a who's on first sort of thing before we went on the air, and Todd said, "Are we playing a game tonight?" I said, "Yeah, which one?" And Todd said, "Well, what are our choices?" I said, "No, the game is called Which One?" So there you go.
We should play the game that I suggested.
Zeman.
Zeman.
All right, Brady has our topic on the eve.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Should we point at
yes.
our website?
Yes, playbyyourpodcast.com. Look it up. I will make a confession here, and my compatriots may not even know this necessarily, but I've been very tardy in uploading
I don't feel tardy.
audio podcasts. So if you're listening on the audio end of things, I'm a little behind. But if you want to stay up to date, you can certainly get the up-to-date versions on YouTube on our website. You can go to YouTube, look up our channel, Play It By Your Podcast, or you can go to our website and all the links to all of our...
So Spotify's lagging a little bit?
Spotify's lagging, yes. I will eventually catch
Just
up.
to throw this out there, I think that's where most people listen to us, I think.
Well, here's the thing, and it's my own fault. I really struggle with writing the show synopses. My problem. I upload, they're ready to go. I just can't. I feel like I'm saying the same thing over.
Don't knock yourself out. Just say these guys are going to talk about stuff and laugh. That could be the form.
Put mass chouse for every one of them.
Chouse.
Mass chouse and nonsense. Gibberish.
And royal none such.
You beat me to it, Brady.
Shenanigans, tomfoolery,
galore.
Hijinks.
Jinkies.
Razzle dazzle.
And a yapple dapple.
Yapple dapple. All right, Brady, you got it.
Okay. So this is actually a topic I have lovingly curated myself. This has not come from a list, although it could be. I want to fully disclose if this sounds like anything that's out there. Sorry, I haven't seen it. I made this one. In fact, these are my handwritten notes. And so when the Smithsonian comes a calling, this is going to be the one that goes right beside Fonzie's jacket and Archie Bunker's chair, and it's going to go right there. So,
and they'll look at it and say, "What language is that written in?"
Where everyone goes to find out and be completely disappointed that Fonzie's jacket was brown and not black.
I know, dude. It's so funny you say that because, like, I was blown away as an 9-year-old when I first saw that. It's like, that's not it.
It looked black on my TV.
It looks black on my TV.
I don't know. There were times it looked brown, I thought. And I thought it was just a coloration of my TV.
Not to be confused with the members-only jacket he wore those first couple seasons. The white thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want him looking like a hood.
Greaser.
I mean, brown essentially is okay, but when you think of a cool leather jacket on someone named the Fonz, you expect a black leather jacket.
Yes, you do.
Correct.
All right.
It's a little tangent.
It'll be like going to the Smithsonian and seeing Miss Piggy and Kermit being like gray or something instead of green.
It ain't easy being gray.
Todd, you inadvertently added something to the list here, but we will get there.
Okay.
Thank you, by the way, and you don't even know it. So anyway, this is a topic that I have thought about a few times as I was perusing through some Pluto and watching some olden TV and things like that. And I just got in newer TV also, but these are, if I were to make a short synopsis, characters on TV that just took too darn much. They were good, nice people that just, in most cases, and just took too much guff from another main character. And the sad part is to this little twist a little bit is the main character was probably known as the main character, and they were treating these characters poorly. And it's like, why are they taking that?
You're going to get my dander up if you're not careful. You're going to get me canceled, Brady.
Ooh.
Because I'm going to just go ahead and say any dad in a sitcom since
Oh, yeah.
1995.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because dads can't possibly be other than
Intelligent.
bumbling,
Confident.
idiot,
Bumblefour.
incapable beings. Yes.
Yes. So, but and
I, mean,
I
don't
want
get
to
me wrong, I am a bumbling, idiot, incapable being, but I don't think all dads are. I mean, come on.
no, I mean, but this goes more than just how the audience perceives him, although it leads to that. But this is a specific character treating a specific character, and why they just didn't snap and give them a Mike Tyson right betwixt the eyes, you know. So let me start off. We'll start off easy. Barney Rubble took way too much crap from Fred. Barney,
Now you have to go with the premise here that Barney and Fred were based upon other characters.
true, and I was gonna get there.
But that's your basic. I mean, you guys are a couple tall fellas. That's your basic making fun of the short guy. That whole joke is all that is. Barney is the superior being because he's taller, and the other
Fred,
one,
you mean?
Fred? Sorry, yeah. And
Well-
Barney is the butt of the jokes because he's smaller.
I'm going to not totally disagree, but I think the main reason is Ted. Fred is a grumpy, moody, bellicose butthole a lot of the time.
Curmudgeon.
He's a curmudgeon, and it rolls
Yes.
on to Barney, who is a genial, laughing, friendly guy.
Soft. He's a soft-hearted.
He's a gentle man,
He's
and he put,
genteel.
but everything from like Fred would bully him into schemes that would not work and get him into trouble, and then you, Barney Rubble, are a counterfeiter, like that whole episode. So it always rolled. Now, I'm not saying that Barney didn't bumble a little bit, but let's be honest, he did not. It was Fred projecting his failures of scheme and unhappiness onto Barney. And I love the Flintstones, but the problem is, Barney takes a lot of unnecessary crap because he's a nice guy.
Well, that's true. He's the foil,
He is the foil.
and the show needed a foil.
It needed a foil.
But again, I'll say it again. He is Ed Norton. Fred
Norton.
is
What?
Ralph Cramden,
Yes,
right?
that is true. It was
And
an
again,
animated-
you have one as a big man and one as a small man. The small man is the butt of the joke.
Eric Kearney might have been taller than Jackie Gleason.
Yeah.
but,
could've
but
been.
Jackie Gleason was bigger and just
And-
bigger all around. I don't
and
just
louder.
I mean, louder, more boisterous, a bigger
Yes.
presence. How's that?
Yes, I
Yeah.
way to go there, Todd. Yeah. So
Hamina,
yeah.
hamina.
all right, which is going to lead us to I'm going to try to be diverse here at the beginning. Alice from the entire Brady clan. She took a lot of unnecessary garbage. This woman was the glue that made that family the fuel of their engine, the glue that kept them together, but yet they still insisted she wear a uniform. Everybody else was dressed, and she had to dress in the uniform, no matter.
You never saw her without her blue and white uniform and pantyhose on.
Yes,
Well, now when they went on their little trip to the Grand Canyon, she was not wearing the
That's
uniform.
true.
I was
Yeah.
getting ready to ask that. In the Hawaii, did she get to go to Hawaii,
I don't remember her in Hawaii.
or was
Did she get to go to Kings Island?
If
I-
she went to either of those places, she probably was just serving them sandwiches in their hotel.
Probably so, unless she was back home, with having a little paramour with Sam the Butcher.
Oh, Celia has a little tidbit there. Not true. She wore a blue robe occasionally.
Well,
At
because
bed.
she was sleeping, because she was worked to the bone. And that was probably covering up that she had a stain on her uniform where they would beat her down.
Well, of course, it had to be a blue robe to match the uniform.
Chris, you actually, I'd forgotten about that line, Chris, but I actually was getting ready to make a joke very similar to that.
I don't know if we could read that, but
So I will say that I think a good thing for this list or for this topic, Brady, is one of us, I think, with each one has to play a little devil's advocate if we're going to have good conversations. And I'll say this. I will agree that she was kind of she was kind of a little bit of a punching bag, but I think it was partly because of her personality was so accepting and fun, and like you can pick on me and I don't get offended. You know what I mean? It was a little bit like, I don't want to say she brought it on, but she was okay with it. She was okay with it, and it became their release. Like they couldn't joke that way with their parents, or they couldn't be that way with their parents. So they kind of like had that little relationship. I mean, because she would poke a little fun at the kids every now and then too.
She needed to put a little bit of Miralax in the pork chops and applesauce to keep him honest.
All right, so let me give you, for instance, here, based upon what we know about the Brady canon.
Wow.
Alice was the housekeeper for Mike.
Yes.
And his kids, the widower. So she continued her employment even after he got married, even though Carol was a stay-at-home wife. She probably could have taken on a lot of those duties, but Mike did her a solid by keeping her employed.
Yeah. How do they afford her? I mean, he was an architect. But like you said,
turf yard.
Mrs. Brady was a stay-at-home mom, and I mean, like do not knock that job at all, because it's a very difficult job, but it's not the highest paying job. And
ask our friend Darren. Darren, can you afford an Alice?
I mean,
house.
How good of an architect could he be to bring that blended family in, sharing one bathroom that had adjoining doors, like each one of their rooms dumped into that bathroom?
And no toilet. There was no toilet in the bathroom.
Really?
Now, was that because of design, or because they couldn't? Did that violate standards and practices?
It was standards and practices,
okay.
I believe.
Okay.
Really? I didn't know that.
So, but
yeah, you never really. Was there ever an episode where where her employment was discussed, or like even considered that she wasn't going to work there any longer, or was it one of those deals where I can't remember every episode, but then at one point Mike just tell her he couldn't afford her anymore, and she's like, "No, I'll stay for free because I love the kids so much," and that kind of thing? Did that ever get written into the?
There was one episode, I thought, where she was going to leave on her own accord because someone hurt her feelings.
I do remember that,
and she wasn't going to tell him, but she was just leaving, and somehow
one
it
of
got
those
resolved.
Was that one of those episodes that you always see where like she packed her things and like every 5 feet as she was walking out, stopped to look back at the room?
And in the background was
and then because she's waiting for someone to stop her, like she's going to the front door, but she keeps stopping to look back to see if anybody's going to stop her.
All right, here we go. I've got it. Episode aired November 24th, 1972. Goodbye, Alice. Hello. The kids give Alice the cold shoulder after they think she has broken their trust. So Alice decides to leave her job as housekeeper. However, the kids soon regret the decision after the new housekeeper teaches them a lesson.
Who was the new housekeeper?
Probably Frau Braunhausen that escaped from Auschwitz. And there was a guard that came to.
It wasn't one of those where they had Alice play a double character, was it? A dual character?
Kay. Her name was Kay.
Man. And James, I like that theory, except there was no backyard. It would have had to been Herb courtesy of Monsanto, because like in there, or DuPont, it would have had to been plastic herb.
Oh, and here's another little nugget. Alice looks like she works in a diner while she's not at the Brady household during that episode. So let me put this picture up here.
So is Alice from the Brady Bunch? Does she really have a secretly? Look at the color of that uniform. Is her boss Mel Sharples, and does she have a son named Tommy?
Did
It's
she move to
pink.
Phoenix, Arizona?
Her uniform's pink, isn't it?
Yes.
Right there it is. I'm telling you, that's
when
not a
she's-
coincidence.
When she's working in the diner.
Well,
I don't remember that part.
How
I
old
don't
was
either.
Alice circa 1970?
she's probably 27 there.
I'm betting it's one of those things where she. Have you seen the one where like,
There's Kay wearing the same
I
blue
remember Kay. Yeah.
outfit.
She stole Alice's get up.
She did.
I think
And look at Kay's face. She's having none of this nonsense that's going
because
on.
probably
Greg and
Greg
Peter.
dropped a deuce in that laundry basket to get back at her, and she discovered it. But all right, I guess we could go on to this one.
wait a minute,
You guys
did
have
we-
seen the little meme that Wilford Brimley was the same age during Cocoon as like
Paul Rudd is.
Paul
right.
Rudd is, whatever this, however many years
Yeah.
ago that came out. It's like
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Just see Chris's comment. Kay must have been George Glass's mother.
Nicely done, Chris.
And Jim, Alice was growing herb in the backyard to make ends meet.
Yeah, that's what I was
Gary.
talking about. It had to be
Gary said the beginning of synthetic herbs.
hydroponics. So I'm going to go on to another one. And I might as well go with this one because it's a good segue. Vera took way too much crap from Mel in the show Alice. He called her a dinghy. He told her to stow it all the time, which was,
He told everyone to stow it, though.
yes. And he held on to his youthdom, still wore his sailor's cap back there, which was a little bit, I can't call it stolen valor because I guess he did serve. But, he was not a nice man, and she was very nice, and she took way too much crap.
So was Mel a Popeye-like character?
I think so. He was a foil of some kind. He was a lovable foil. And the thing that amazed me, if you watch an episode of Alice today, I don't recall him being as greasy when I was a Ute. There's a sheen to Mel. Like you could rub your fingernail over Mel's diner counter and it'd be like the chili dump in Georgetown.
It's fryer grease.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he always wore white, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And his white never got grease on it.
No. And, the thing is, Vera was too nice. She would not tell him to kiss her grits or anything. But
Chris, you're correct. Let's be honest. Flo ran that diner. However, when Flo left to go run her own restaurant, it flopped amazingly.
did she end up working at the Shade Chug-a-Lug?
No, the Yellow Rose.
Oh, yeah. That's a deep dive. Sorry.
I'm getting, so you're losing anyone under the age of 55 here.
No, well, Alice was on syndication into our Utedom.
See, Alice, the whole idea of Alice and leaving is running into Roseanne when she decided to start the restaurant making loose meat sandwiches.
Oh, yes.
Because she sold them at like the whatever you call it, like the it would be the equivalent of like a what do they have like in towns now? Like on a Saturday, they'll sell
Food
like
trucks,
no, they'll sell like
farmers market,
like a market. It seems like when she first started selling her loose meat sandwiches, it was a market type thing, and then they were so popular that she opened up a restaurant. Speaking of which, I don't know if it's on your list, but the owner or whatever of that restaurant, well, actually, several of her bosses, several of Roseanne's bosses, put up with a lot from her.
Crap.
I thought it was her restaurant.
Caustic manner.
Did she buy it from the one guy? Because the one guy owned it for a while. Say you'll know this. She's probably embarrassed that I can't remember it, and they were mean to him. And you would know the guy. The guy was like a great character actor in a lot of shows.
The Lanford lunchbox.
Yeah, get your loose meat sandwiches. But what was the guy's name? What was the
Landard?
No, that's where they lived.
Oh.
The lunchbox was co-owned by Roseanne along with her sister Jackie,
Leon,
her mother Bev, her friend Nancy, and her adversary Leon.
Yeah, Leon. Pull up a picture of Leon. Everybody will know Leon when you see him. He was just a great character actor back in the day.
Oh yeah, I never really watched Roseanne much, but
I didn't either.
It's a great show.
Picture up here.
Pull up Leon, if you're fancy.
Leon.
Martin Mull.
Martin Mull, yeah.
Oh,
Leon Carp.
Carp. Yeah, like that guy played the same role, but he was great at it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's time to go on to a new one, which I think everybody will have a lot more point of reference. I didn't mean to leave anybody, but that's a pretty good deep dive. But hey, so Enos took way too much. Okay, now this is the classic example of the old saying that poop rolls downhill, because Boss Hogg would give Roscoe P. Coltrane crap, and then in turn, Roscoe, the poop would roll downhill onto Enos. And Enos was a big, well-portioned, large man, and he could have schooled both. I mean, he could have introduced the weenus of Enos to both of them with ease. And
I wouldn't call Enos a big guy.
I mean,
he wasn't small.
Daisy was always, rubbing his biceps and things like that. Now she was using her feminine wiles to try to let the boys get away.
Exactly.
But still,
Well, you know what Enos rhymes with.
Like I said, he was introducing them to the weenus, Enos, right
That's
across
not what
the face.
Daisy was rubbing on him. It wasn't his weenus she was interested in. Or his ween eye, since he has two of them. Since it'd be two of them.
Well, you do have two of them. One
I know,
on each
so they would be
elbow.
ween eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, the weenus is the skin on the end of your elbow. That kind of looks like a satchel.
The satchel.
The
fleshy
on your
part.
age. Yeah. Depending on how much saggage you got.
Saggy weenus. But yeah, like Enos, I always waited for him just to pop one of them in the face.
But you're right though. There's two characters in one kind of connection there. Roscoe P. Coltrane he put up with a lot of crap.
Yeah, he did. Not only from his boss, but wasn't his wife named Lulu?
Yes.
Or was that
the boss's wife was Lulu?
Okay.
Yeah. What was Roscoe P. Coltrane's wife?
I don't know that he had a wife.
Maybe that's why he was angry. Maybe
Is it Roscoe P. Coltrane? Roscoe P. Coltrane? Roscoe P. Coltrane? Roscoe P. Coltrane?
Roscoe P. Coltrane. Good job.
I don't think so. They're all separate, right? Or Coltrane would be one word. Yeah, it would be a name, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it wasn't Coltrane, like separate words.
No, it would be like the jazz
Coltrane
player.
Yeah.
Coltrane. Now, but there again, you have a flow-like situation where Enos went off and had his own show, and it
gotta hate it when the goes off.
Spectacular failure.
Why did he deserve his own show?
I don't know, but he went to be a police officer in Los Angeles, and it was.
I thought it was Atlanta. I thought it was the big city of Atlanta.
I think,
I think I would have paid more to see Cooter have its own show. Can you edit that out?
Now, you could pay to see Cooter's collection in Gatlinburg. I think he's got some kind of museum.
Yeah, you're right. He does. Yeah.
So there you go. You were talking
Is it
about
in
the car
Pigeon
museum.
Forge or somewhere like that?
I think he's got one in
Cooter's
probably
Garage,
Myrtle Beach.
right? Cooter's Garage.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
So Enos's middle name was Purvis. What was his last name?
Straight was his last name. S-T-R-A-T.
So Enos Purvis Straight.
No. I think Purvis.
Cooter's middle name was Purvis.
No, Roscoe P. Coltrane. I think
Purvis.
Roscoe Purvis Coltrane. Oh man, that's unfortunate.
So,
hey, Michael, how's it going, buddy? Michael says, if you want to pull his comment up there, Aric.
Doing some research. Roscoe's sister married Boss Hog. That's right.
That's right.
Yes,
which
Lulu
is why he had a job because of nepotism.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is why he got hat beatings every week.
There you go.
Roscoe was Roscoe Purvis Coltrane.
All right, so Enos ran from November 12th, 1980 to May 20th, 1981. Series focused on the adventures of Enos Strait, a former deputy in rural Hazard County, after he moved to Los Angeles to join the LAPD.
Well,
so,
didn't he try to be a movie star? Am I remembering that correctly?
No, I don't think so. I think he's just trying to be a police officer. But so here's a deep dive. So who was the deputy that replaced Enos?
It was a guy that was in commercial. Oh, Cletus.
Cletus, yes.
Cletus.
Cletus.
Cletai. What? Who played Cletus?
Rick.
Can you pull him up?
Rick something.
He kind of looks like a carp. Not to make a reference, but he's like he had
Carp's
had
good
a
eating.
comical face.
Got to get that mud vein out of there, though.
But
Cletus Hogg. So it's Boss Hogg's
Hog. That's his rap name.
Clog.
So it's Boss Hogg's nephew, Cletus.
That's right.
Rick Hurst. Rick Hurst.
Is that Daisy Duke using her feminine wiles on Cletus?
Yes.
In that picture?
She was equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Floozy Duke, more like it.
Floozy Duke.
Oh.
There's a modern term if I ever heard one. Floozy.
Right up there with a hussy.
Yeah.
Modern in 1929.
Oh man. All right. Let's go on with. All right. This is one that I think many of our ages will be. Carlton took way too much from Will in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I mean, not as much as Chris Rock, but he still.
That's true.
I'm sorry. I am not.
Took me a second there.
I'm not a Will Smith fan, so I have a hard time commenting on Will
now,
Smith.
Did you get off the Will Smith thing, or were you never fond of him?
I liked
he
Fresh
was very
Prince back in the
likable
day.
at first. Yeah.
I felt like he. All right, this is going to sound strange. I felt like he tried too hard, and I felt like this will be the one time a celebrity hears about this. This will somehow he'll hear this. I've been trying to fight Richard Marx for like 2 years. He won't even comment back. This will be the one time Will Smith will show up at my door and slap me. But I feel like everything just kind of came easy to him. I mean, he's this rapper. Next thing you know, he's a hugely successful movie. Like it's like he didn't pay his
TV star first.
Huh?
TV star first, then movie star. Fresh Prince.
Oh, I thought you meant before a rapper.
Oh,
No,
no.
no, no.
Yeah. So rapper first, TV star movie. And then went from like the goofy kind of like with like Fresh Prince to like now then a serious movie. It's like he just never really, I don't know,
Paid his dues.
never paid his dues. It was always Now I don't know
mean-
his life story, and I'm probably wrong, but that's just what it seemed like to me.
He was a likable guy. I mean, he crossed all like you would have at the beginning. You found very few people that had anything negative to say about Will Smith. Everybody loved Independence Day. You know,
Because I like James Earl or crap. What's his name?
James Earl Jones.
Who was the other guy? No, not James Earl Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah,
Yeah, Men in Black. I think
that's
when
right. I got Independence Day and Men in Black. Who was
Yeah.
in Independence Day with?
the guy that played in Spaceballs, he was the president.
Oh, yes, Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Michael. I think Michael hit it on the head there. Like he at some point he changed. He just got like he started taking himself too seriously.
And then he played Muhammad Ali, and then Happiness, and then and it's always been rumored. And please, this isn't to offend anybody, but he was one of those people that always kind of flirted. He was always in with the Scientology thing and some weird stuff, but never kind of came totally clean about it. And then you kind of see how his children are kind of like in the whole relationship with there's just some oddity. There's a circus that you just get the feeling he wants to be normal again, but that genie's out of the bottle.
That's right. So if any of us get slapped by Will Smith, those of you that are listening, we did it for you. We did it for the ratings.
Yes. Well, we love you on Independence Day. So
That's right.
How about this one?
However,
Oh.
I do hit back, Will. I'm not Chris Rock. I do hit back. So you better make it a good one.
If you should show up on Prouty Lane in Hillsboro, Ohio, just Todd will hit back.
That's right. I mean, you might not feel it, but I'll at least swing back.
All right. How about this one? Tony Danza took way too much from Angela in Who's the Boss?
Judith Light.
Yes.
Light.
Judy L. I had a big crush on Judith Light back in the day.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Which was odd when Alyssa Milano was right there. But
Before she
Can you
went
edit
crazy.
that creepy
Gotta
sound?
let it out.
Can you edit that creepy sound Brady just made out, Eric, when you edit out my comment to the
Hey.
Well, it was fine to look at Alyssa Milano back then, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
her
Right,
age.
I didn't say it. I'm talking about Brady's sound.
Oh,
No, that was steam. I was making a teen steam sound,
Well,
and I had
think
to let
it
it
depends
out.
on your age. I mean, like, so I would have been. What year was that?
1987.
87.
No, I don't think. I thought it was like 84 is when it started.
Yeah,
Something
you're
like that.
right. You're right.
Oh, so I was 7. So, yeah,
7.
I could look. It was okay for me to have a crush on her, but Judith Light. Now, if you were real hardcore, you had a crush on the grandma.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Yes.
She was in the TV show Soap too.
Oh,
And I
her
forget.
name?
Wow.
Catherine Hellmond.
Yes.
Catherine Hellman.
Yes.
Tell you what on the show though. What was her name? What was her?
Mona.
Mona. Yeah. Yes. But so we're talking about the actors, but don't you think that Judith Light was sometimes heavy on Tony Danza? That he took a lot of crap.
That's where the show. Well, I mean, it was romantic tension. I believe
Yeah.
that was the whole basis of it.
She likes her. He like.
Stop.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that tension, but sometimes I just think that she, gave him crap and he kept that thing stable.
So I can't remember what was his story. Did his wife die or leave him?
Well, he was a boxer.
Yes.
Yeah. Guess what? She died. Say you said she died.
Oh, Tony's wife died.
Tony's wife died? Yes, she said. I don't know if she's
Okay.
right, but she says yes. So he, then he moves in with Angela.
Okay. Let's back up here. Former Major League Baseball player
Oh.
Tony Maselli. I thought
So
he was
wasn't
a
a
boxer.
boxer. He was a boxer he was a boxer in real life. That's what you're
Yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah. And I think his character in Taxi was a boxer.
And that's probably it. But wasn't he like a San Francisco baseball player, and he gets injured and down on his luck. And if he was a Major League Baseball player, it's kind of weird that he had to take a second job because, like,
Well, and why did he take that job?
well, maybe
reason
he
Alice
needed a mother influence for his daughter.
And son.
Oh yeah, he did have a son.
No, that was her son. That was Judith Light had a son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alyssa Milano was Tony's daughter, and then Sam, or no, what was his name?
Her name was Sam.
Yeah, what was the boy's name? Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Jonathan was Judith Light's son. And Jonathan was also in the movie Cujo.
Yes.
Tony Maselli played baseball for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, yeah, because took place. The setting was St. Louis, right?
No, Connecticut.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why am I thinking San Francisco?
I don't
You're
know.
thinking of Full House.
Maybe.
You are
And-
thinking
maybe.
Full House.
And what's his name was an LA Laker, wasn't he?
Who?
The dad in Full House, wasn't he a Laker?
What?
Bob Saget?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
I think.
I remember him
think you
being an
might have
unfunny
cons-
comedian.
But you know the thing about Bob Saget, though, this is what I rabbit hole was like
Well, he's
you won't
raunchy.
find anybody that disliked him and didn't think he was hilarious.
Well, he's raunchy.
Yeah, but he was definitely not funny clean. You know what I mean? Like his clean humor was not funny. But look it up.
If you
and see
watch
if he
him on
wasn't-
America's Funniest Home Videos, you would throw rotten fruit at the screen because he was so bad.
But I could have swore he was a basketball player, a Laker, or
I don't
something
think
in there.
Bob
There's some
Saget's
sort of-
even seen a basketball court.
I don't know. He was tall.
But
I got to do some
anyway.
research on Bob Saget. Carry on, gentlemen.
Okay, how about this one? I'm looking at all of my lists. Let's find another good one. Okay.
Bob Saget was 6'4". You tell me he never played ball? He played ball.
I would be
6'4"
he was
is a
probably
point
captain of the
guard.
chess team. Just because he's tall, but
I could have swore. Where did I? Maybe did he dress up as a Laker for Halloween on one episode or something?
Well,
I
that would be
could
Fletch.
remember Gary. He was a morning show host, but was he a former basketball player?
I don't think so. That's not even sounding familiar to me, honestly. But we'll have to figure out who that was. Who was a former Laker. Okay, how about this one? This will make you think. What about Peter Parker took way too much crap from J. Jonah Jameson when he could have snapped his neck like a twig and been none the wiser?
Well, that's true. But he probably would have given up his identity at that point, right?
Not really. He could have went into the closet or the broom closet, put on his thing, came in and using his super quiet spider skills, he could have snapped his neck and everybody would have thought J. Jonah Jameson had like an aneurysm or something. He could have strangled him with a web.
Could you say that about any superhero? They could at any time.
But few deserved it like J. Jonah Jameson.
Well, that's true.
He was openly wanting to kill him. He wanted him vanquished. He wanted him, his hatred of Spider-Man was so great that he could not see all the good he was doing.
Yes. and I'm sorry, I'm kind of going backwards here, but I put up Dean Mignani's comment that on Full House, Danny Tanner covered the Warriors,
Maybe that's what I'm
the
thinking
Golden
of.
State Warriors.
That was close.
And I also put Dean's comment up to congratulate him on his retirement
Oh,
from the U.S.
Oh.
Postal Service
Congratulations.
congratulations, sir.
as of this past Friday, I believe. So, yeah, congratulations.
It's probably what I
Speaking
was
of
thinking
which.
of. And I bet there was like an episode where he like got to play, like, I don't know. He got to wear a uniform and go do something, shoot around
See,
with him or something like that.
From that era, he would have done a shoot around with World Be Free and Meta World Peace.
Fat lever.
Fat. That's Lafayette to
Mullins.
you.
Is it lever or lever?
It's Lever.
I thought it was
Lever.
Le Fat Lever.
Who else? I'm trying to think who else would have been around that era. World Be Free.
Chris Mullins.
Larry Nance.
I like Larry Nance. He had to go up against.
Sigma.
He had to go. Oh gosh,
I knew I was trying to trigger Todd there.
there is to this day not a basketball player I loathe more than I loathe Jack Sigma. That man did not belong on a basketball court.
Why?
That man, but he was more like the president of like the homeowners association or something like that. He was just a bland vanilla.
He was Scandinavian, of course.
If
That's
there's
why he
anyone
was
that
so
should have been nicknamed
bland and-
Tapioca, it was that man because he just looked like a vat of tapioca. He
That's one of
played
my
like a vat of
favorite,
tapioca.
Super 70 sports picks when I forget who the coach was, and they drafted Jack Sigma, and he had a bad haircut, like a 6-year-old from it was like a bowl haircut where he looked like a Dutch boy, and the guy looks less than happy. He said, "I can't believe we drafted this 6-year-old haircut having blankety blank blank blank."
I hated everybody on the Bucks. You had Frank Burkowski, Fred Roberts, Jack Sigma,
Sidney Moncrief.
Sidney Moncrief.
Mark Aguirre, wasn't he a book?
No, he was Mark Aguirre was a Dallas
a-
Maverick.
No,
and then he was
Randy Brewer. Randy Brewer was a buck.
He was wasn't Aguirre a bull too?
Yeah.
Well, he went to the Pistons right before their championship
That's right.
because they traded Adrian Dantley.
Adrian Dantley,
They traded Adrian Dantley for Mark Aguirre.
Yeah.
the best across the lane move in the history of the National Basketball Association. Adrian Dantley.
Well, this has got me looking up the 50 best Golden State Warriors. Wilt Chamberlain. I didn't realize he was a Golden State Warrior.
He was a
one time.
Philadelphia Warrior.
Yeah. Well, no, he was it's Los Angeles Lakers, Golden State Warriors, Philadelphia 76ers, Harlem Globetrotters, San Francisco Warriors.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought he played for the Philadelphia Warriors too.
I thought he
Rick
did too.
Barry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course,
got
Chris
it,
Mullin was great. Hey, what about Martinez? What was his name?
Jamel Martinez.
No.
Sabonis.
Got Tim Hardaway.
Yeah.
Nate Thurmond.
Yeah.
I won't go.
Only
Chris
on this show can we go from sitcom foils to NBA. A deep
Mitch
dive of-
Richmond.
Mitch Rich.
Manute Bowl.
Rich
Sleepy
Richmond.
Floyd. Now there's a name. I didn't realize Bernard King played for the Warriors.
Didn't know that either.
Bernard
Any-
King.
Anyhow.
I think this next one I'm gonna have to aim at Aric and Todd. You're just getting into it, so I'm gonna give you a trigger warning.
First off, I watched one episode. I wouldn't say I'm getting into it.
Okay, so
You
I
only
think
watched one
Winchester and Burns
Can't
on
find
MASH
it.
took way too much from Hawkeye Pierce.
They
They were educated.
Winchester less so than Burns.
Yes,
Winchester would give it back.
that is true.
Burns
But
would
all
throw a
they
hissy
were,
fit.
they were guys that played by the rules, and they were a little bit. All they wanted to do was be successful, and they didn't want to suffer through that nonsense. They were trying to do their job and do it well. So I think they gave him some unnecessary grief, especially Burns when they were trying to cut in on Hot Lips Houlihan action.
Well, I mean, Burns was trying to be in charge, and Winchester was pompous. So I wouldn't call them blameless.
Yeah, but I think they took a lot of crap sometimes.
Well, I think they brought a lot of the crap on themselves.
Yeah, but still, I think.
And I believe Winchester was a much better character than Frank Burns, in my
Yes.
opinion.
I will say this, Aric Fiskus. If you were stationed in that, I think your personality would align much more with how they did, how Winchester did his job, and I think you would be annoyed by Hawkeye Pierce.
I probably would be, yes.
So there, I think that's a. Now that there's nothing wrong with you. I'm just saying they crossed the line sometimes. They were dangerous. They put people at risk.
Yeah, I don't discount that at all. I agree.
Okay, here's one everybody can get behind.
I have no input on MASH.
We need to pick it back up.
I gotta find it. Like I whatever I found it on, I was all excited because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna try to give this a shot again. And it was the first episode, and then the next thing you could watch was like season 7 or something or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? It was spotty.
I think it's on Pluto.
It is on Pluto.
I think Pluto is where I tried to watch it, and it was like you
It's
could
on
watch
It's on Hula.
episode 1, and then like the next thing you could watch was season 4 or something.
Is it on Buddha?
Could be.
Oh,
Yucca.
Oh man. Here's one everybody could get behind. Rose took way too much crap from Dorothy, but once again, poop rolls downhill because Dorothy took a lot of crap from Sophia. And then
everybody took crap from Sophia, rightfully
Yes.
so.
But Dorothy was mean spirited. She was needlessly condescending and insulting and sarcastic and caustic and unpleasant at times. Most of the time.
Dorothy had bigger male parts than you.
Like stamps.
Envelope openers.
Something like that.
She was a handsome woman. Leave her alone. All right. So that pretty much goes without saying that that we know that those two dished a lot of verbal abuse at the others. I think we're all in agreement on that
Don't
one.
you find it interesting though that mother and daughter were both that way to everybody else?
Well, once again, I'll give it the poop rolls downhill after years of taking it.
She started dishing it.
She started dishing it.
But I do think though there's something to be said about they all dished it out pretty good to each other. Rose Rose was the one, she took it from everybody. You know what I mean? Well, actually, I think it was Blanche that took it from everybody.
In a different way.
But no, Rose, it really did everybody ganged up on Rose a lot of the times, but there was enough to go around. I mean, there was, and Dorothy even gave it back to her mom a little bit, that it wasn't like they just, but you always felt like she earned it. Yeah. She earned it.
Yeah. Okay. Andy Griffith took way too much crap from Barney.
Ange.
Now, but I got to put this disclaimer. I won't say he took verbal abuse, but Barney Fife should have been fired. And
because he was terrible at his job.
Yes, and one of my coworkers, when I told them last week the topic that I was curating, this was her suggestion. Who, ironically, we could call her Ange. But she said that, and I quote, Barney Fife was a narcissist.
Yeah.
He was unsafe with a firearm, despite his law enforcement training. He was power tripping.
You didn't throw around terms like that back then.
No. He would have just been beat down by Floyd the Barber or
He was only given one bullet. He was so inept.
in like and I forget what girl he was dating in that show, but he was way out punching his weight class.
What was her name? Helen? No, that was
I
that
think
was
so. I think
No,
so.
Helen was Andy's, wasn't it?
Yeah, I forget because, but he should not have been in his job. He was a hindrance, and he caused a lot of trouble, and he should have been fired in season 1.
But that made the show.
His ineptitude.
What is Celia doing? Are you spitting rhymes? Are you spitting rhymes back there, Mrs. Griffin?
Thelma Lou, that was Barney's girlfriend.
Yes.
There once was a deputy named Fife who carried a gun and the knife. The gun was all dusty. The knife was all rusty because he never caught a crook in his life.
Did you
Did
just spin
Did you
that?
just make that up, or was that?
There
I gotta
once
know,
was a
'cause-
man from Fincastle.
Oh, I got one for you.
There once was a man named Goober.
There once was a man from Macon. Those my limericks will go on the when we finally do the 18 and over episode. We're going to do a one night 18 and over episode. You got to pay to get in.
That was the poem that Opie wrote that hurt Barnes' feelings.
So let's read that again because I think there's some typos there. See, I'll fix it for you. There was once a deputy named Fife who carried a gun and a knife, I assume is what, not a gun in the knife, right? The gun was all dusty. The knife was all rusty because he never caught a crook in his life. So Opie wrote that and hurt Barney's feelings is what Celia says.
I don't remember him carrying a knife.
Well,
Well,
no,
maybe
but
he
I'll
did
tell you
it worked
what.
in the poem.
Old Barney wouldn't have thought twice about pistol whipping Opie for jaywalking. He would have done it too. We had
What was it called? Jaywalking.
I have no
I
idea.
mean, if anything, you would have think it would be like lowercase L walking or even maybe I walking. Maybe L walking because you walk across the street and then you turn one way or another, creating an L. But I don't get jaywalking.
Maybe it's because you had to see the judge.
No.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
The term jaywalking does not derive from the shape of the letter J, but rather from the fact that J, J-A-Y, used to be a generic term for someone who is unsophisticated or a simpleton.
Oh, I'm going to use that the rest of my life. Don't be
Don't
a
come
J.
at me like a common J.
What are you, some kind of J?
A simpleton, a dullard, if you will.
Oh man, that's awesome.
See, now you get canceled for that.
Yes. Okay. I got a couple more. Like I said, we could wrap this up. We're about at an hour. We don't have to comment on all these, but some of the ones I had was Magnum took way too much crap from Higgins. Or one, if you would have said, but I liked Higgins, but Magnum took a lot of crap.
Magnum was Higgins's employer, right?
No, Magnum. Well, see, it was very ambiguous. Robin Masters, Higgins was his, I guess,
handler.
Well, he was the overseer of his estates, and Magnum lived there, kind of like the manager. And Higgins and his Dobermans, Zeus and Apollo, always gave Magnum a hard time, but there was a mutual respect there because Higgins was legit bad anus in the British Foreign Service.
So I watched
was a
Magnum.
freeloader, according to Jim.
I watched Magnum as a kid. but I don't really know the backstory. How did Magnum get his money?
I think Magnum was sitting on some Navy intelligence money. I think there was quite a few things going on there. But he was a private investigator, so he got paid by his clients allegedly when he wasn't being amorous with them.
So, is it just my memory going back to the like how great life was back in the 80s, or was it like there's so many sitcoms that they might have been all made by the same people? I don't know, but you had Magnum, you had Riptide, you had Hardcastle and McCormick,
Simon and Simon,
Simon,
Miami Vice,
Jake and the Fatman,
the
Miami
Fall
Vice.
Guy.
I mean, you had so many. I would be interested to know if there were any connections between any of those shows as far as like producers,
T.J.
directors,
Hooker.
writers. T.J. Hooker, of course, said Magnum, Knight Rider, even. I mean,
Oh yeah,
thrown in there. There was something about when I look back now, they all just are kind of like in the same grab bag that I couldn't tell. Like they were all so similar, but they probably weren't, but they seemed to me like they were.
Yeah. Magnum is great. That's one of the reasons I liked the show Burn Notice so much, is because it took elements like it had a lighthearted feel, kind of like Magnum PI, but it wasn't as dark. It was like Magnum PI met MacGyver, but every once in a while there'd be an episode that got a little bit heavier. But it harkened back to that era where there was explosions and traps, but nobody died.
You never caught MacGyver in those shorty shorts that Magnum would wear. You can't do any serious work in those shorts. Spending all your time making sure stuff doesn't fall out of the bottom of them.
Well, judging by the girl that he was holding up in the pool, helping her snorkel,
Gary was some cold hard facts right there, folks. I'm gonna pull up Gary's comment there.
Gary's comment.
There we go.
I was just reading the same thing.
Okay, so from Gary Troutman, the estate is owned by renowned novelist Robin Masters, who employs Jonathan Higgins as the estate caretaker and Thomas Magnum as its security expert.
So this goes on to say that Higgins treats Magnum as a leech because he's living in the guest house for free, and Higgins is the caretaker, so he resents Magnum.
So is Brady backwards? Because Brady said Higgins took too much from Magnum. Was it the other way around?
No. I said Magnum took too much from Higgins.
Too much from Higgins. Okay.
Now, was there speculation? Am I misremembering this? That Higgins actually was Robin Masters, and that was his nom de plume?
No, because in the in this synopsis I'm reading, Robin Masters was Orson Welles.
So in all those shows that I mentioned, so Hardcastle McCormick, who was in that show?
Wasn't it Brian Dennehy? No, Brian. Not Brian Dennehy. The other Brian.
Brian. Poppycock.
I'll look it up.
What about Jake and the Fatman?
Brian Keith.
Yeah.
Brian Keith. What about Jake and the Fatman? Who was in that?
William Conrad was the Fatman.
And who was the other one? Who was Jake?
Was it Joe Penny?
Joe Penny.
Who was in Riptide. Nice.
And then Riptide was the guy that was in Major
Perry King.
Major Dad.
Yeah.
The guy that was in Major Dad later, right?
Perry King was.
And this came later in the genre, but Nash
Joe
Bridges.
Penny was in Riptide too?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No. And I did not know Riptide was a Stephen J. Cannell created series like the A-Team.
Yes.
I may have to investigate that. I've never watched Riptide.
It's good. It's good. My sister always loved that. Was one of her favorites.
So which show was the guy from Major Dad in back then?
That was Simon and Simon.
Yeah. Simon and Simon. And who was the other Simon? The clean cut Simon.
No, that was
Jameson Parker.
Thank you. Not to be confused with Parker Stevens.
Right.
Yeah. Parker Stevenson.
Parker.
He was in
He
the
was
Harley
Spy-
Boys.
He was Spider-Man
Boys.
too, wasn't he?
Spider-Man, Hardy Boys. So, and then there was another show we talked about. You had Jake and the Fat Man, Hardcastle McCormick. Well, Hunter. You had the great Fred
yeah.
Dreyer
Fred Dreyer, yes.
And Remington
and Dee Dee
Steele.
McCall.
Remington Steele.
Oh, Remington Steele. I had a big crush on Dee Dee McCall too. Is that her name?
I think so.
Plus,
Stephanie
no,
Zimbalist.
T.J.
Oh,
Hooker
yeah.
was
It was one of the Heathers.
Heather
Locklear or Thomas, I'm not sure which.
Heather Locklear. And
Heather Thomas was in
Will
Fallout.
Shatner, the Shat. and then the greatest in that show, Adrian Zmed.
Oh yeah.
Grease 2's Adrian Zmed.
Bachelor Party.
Bachelor Parties, Adrian Zmed.
And then there was another show though. Hunter, T.J. Hooker.
Now, Jim, by the way, Jim did say in the show they did hint that Higgins was Robin Masters.
Yeah, I think that was, like I said, it was his pseudonym, his nom de plume, and he lived his life.
John
as
Brown
Higgins.
is watching on the tube. I like the fact that it shows up here. I just realized that, Eric.
Yeah.
It shows where they're watching from.
Yep.
Anyway,
So
that was a great time for TV back then.
Oh yeah.
Like, so many of those shows, and they may not even have been on all together, but it seemed like they were.
I think they actually were, really.
And before we go to the game, this is probably the most unique one. Azrael takes too much from Gargamel. Just saying. So that was on my list.
I think Azrael gave it back too, though. Didn't
He was just doing what cats do. He was being a predator. He wanted it fed, but he got beaten, smacked around by this nincompoop of a wizard. So anyway, if he was such a great wizard, why not whip up a batch of chicken nuggets, man?
I gotta. Do you remember the show? Was it Nighthawk?
Nighthawk.
Yes.
The helicopter show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a spinoff of a movie, right? Or the movie spinoff from the show.
Nighthawk or Airwolf?
Airwolf was a helicopter
Airwolf,
show
right.
as well, but I believe Nighthawk was.
No,
too.
because Hawk, the character's name was Stringfellow Hawk.
Well, maybe Nighthawk was a movie.
Nighthawks was a movie.
Hawks.
It's
Was it
Sylvester
helicopters?
Stallone.
No. It's not about helicopters, though, is it?
The Airwolf
No.
was.
Airwolf was.
All
He
right.
was a cello
Nighthawk.
player.
Jan Michael Vincent.
Yes, Stringfellow Hawk was his name.
So, what was the helicopter movie?
Blue Thunder.
That's what I'm thinking of. Blue Thunder.
Yeah. Yep.
Gosh, man, wasn't life great? I mean, you got Lou Gossett Jr. and Iron Eagle. You got, which I always liked better than Top Gun, to be honest with you.
Why? Blue Thunder, Roy Scheider.
Roy
Yes.
Scheider, yes.
We're going to need a bigger
From
copter.
Jaws. And I did not know this. Warren Oates, Sergeant Holka was in Blue
Line
Thunder.
up, Francis.
And if you
Yes.
think about it, there has really not been another helicopter movie since, other than the Based on a True Black Hawk Down. I mean, but no.
Magnum PI featured the helicopter, the Island Hopper, quite a bit, but I know it's a different thing, a different
Wasn't
distinction.
but that was a little like rainbow colored.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not a real helicopter.
Well, Sergeant Holka died right after Blue Thunder was made.
Don't go to bed with the price on your head. Don't do it. Was that the theme song to Beretta?
How's Beretta?
Yeah. 'Cause-
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Yeah.
Don't do it.
You know what would be a fun topic?
They're all fun.
Taking a show like Hunter, you had Fred Dreyer, who was clearly not a youngman when that show was on, but I don't remember him being in anything else before that. I couldn't tell you anything else about
LA
him.
Rams. That's all I could tell you.
He was a football player, wasn't
Oh,
he?
he was a
He was a
bad
good
rear.
football player. Yeah.
Stephanie Kramer was Dee Dee McCall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
see
So,
what else.
yeah.
does
If
Fred
you guys
Dryer
never
know?
watched, it was funny because Celia, are you still listening out there? Where, at what point was that where like you went back and watched all the Hunters over again? The Fayetteville house, I think. Eric's old house. She watched all the Hunters over again and said it still held up pretty well.
We should do a live episode, get a venue, and we'll just get a big screen TV and rip out Pluto and just watch one episode of all these with our
That would be
earbuds.
great.
Fred Dryer was in Cannonball Run too.
Is Fred Dryer still alive?
I do not believe he is.
No, he is.
He is?
He is.
Yep, he's 77.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
6'6", by the way. He went
Yeah.
to El Camino Junior College and then San Diego State. He was the 13th pick in round 1 of the 1969 NFL draft.
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Eric,
Don't do it.
Eric, did you mention Frank Lupo earlier?
Yeah.
So Frank Lupo, you might have mentioned this too, A-Team.
Yeah.
And here's when we forgot. Renegade,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Riptide,
no.
Wise Guy,
Yeah. it's wise
Hunter,
Sheriff Lobo.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
guy. Oh.
And you had to throw a Walker Texas Ranger in that.
In 1979, BJ and the Bear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sheriff Lobo.
Yeah.
1981, Magnum PI.
Oh.
81 to 83, The Greatest American Hero.
Oh.
Oh.
Believe it or
1987
not,
Stingray.
I'm walking on air.
Nice.
Here's one that was cutting edge for its time, Automan, where it was kind of playing on the Tron thing, where the computer made a hologram, like virtual reality car, and his Alexa, which was way ahead of time, was called Cursor.
Cursor.
So Renegade was in the 90s. Maybe I don't remember Renegade. 92 to 97, 110 episodes.
Dang.
Oh, I do remember that. It was Lorenzo Lamas.
Oh, Lorenzo Lamas, yes. After he left the Falcon Crest.
He joined forces with Native American bounty hunter Bobby Sixkiller, played by Branscombe Richmond.
That's an outstanding name.
Yes.
Branscombe Richmond.
But I do remember that show now. I do remember it being very heavily like Native American, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
as his partner. Yeah.
Because when the going gets narrow, ding-ding-ding-ding, you keep your eye on the sparrow.
Wasn't that sang by
Well,
Samuel
well,
Davis?
well.
Wasn't that sang by Samuel Davis?
I don't think, was it?
I think it was.
Gary, I think he played basketball with Bob Saget.
All right. Well, I'll take us out.
What
of
we're
this
trying to
topic.
tell people, what we're trying to tell the young people listening out there is, man, the 1980s were great.
Get on
Yes.
Hula, get on Pluto,
Pluto.
find these
Buddha.
old shows.
But, and we've talked about it before, but we haven't even touched tonight on the great primetime soaps that were out back then. I mean, like, you couldn't beat it.
Todd,
mean, you got-
that is your assignment for next week.
I mean, you got all those that we mentioned tonight, and then plus you got Falcon's Crest, Dallas,
Knots Landing,
Knots Landing, my favorite,
Dynasty.
mainly because of Nicolette Sheridan.
You a Joan Van Ark fan?
No, Nicolette Sheridan.
Oh,
And I like Sumner or whatever his name was.
I kind of like Michelle.
What's that guy's
Lee.
name?
yeah,
I
I like Michelle.
and her
Lee.
husband, Kevin Dobson.
Mm.
But didn't he pitch for the White Sox?
As Rich Dobson,
Oh,
He played basketball.
Anderson
with Bob
High
Saget.
School's greatest.
Well, so who played Sumner? Eric, you know him.
Gary something.
does-
didn't-
He's done the reverse mortgage commercials.
Oh,
and the
yeah,
gold
yeah. And
commercials
the silver doubloons.
After Thompson died, Fred Thompson died.
Yeah.
He took over that
Sumner from what show?
from Knots
Knots
Landing.
Landing. Oh gosh.
And you're correct, Brady. Samuel Davis Jr. did sing
Ah.
"Keep Your Eye on the Sparrow." I did not know that.
But
Now I got to know
you
who
could
played
totally
Sumner.
ignore the Starling.
William Devane.
That's it.
There
That's
it is.
There it is. There it is.
That man didn't age for 38 years.
Not to be confused with Willem Dafoe. William Devane.
The main
Well,
vein.
I hope you guys enjoyed that topic.
Constance McCashin.
I designed that one so it was on a topic, but it worked exactly like how I wanted it because there was a lot of lupine distractions. There was a lot of rabbit holes.
Yes, there were. All right.
Did somebody mention Constance McCashin earlier? Constance McCashin?
I just said Constance McCashin.
Who was that? That was
She was in Knots Landing.
Yeah, that was she was Sumner's.
Laura Avery.
Her last name was Sumner, so she would have been either his wife or
IMDb says Laura Avery.
Plus you had the great Ted Shackelford.
The great Ted Shackelford.
Yeah. He was awesome in North Carolina
Donna
State.
Mills, Joan Van Ark.
Yeah.
Michelle Lee.
Oh, Lisa Hartman.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Alec Baldwin was in the show. I didn't know that.
What?
Michelle Phillips.
We won't hold that against it.
Oh, yeah, right.
Patrick Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Who was
I don't remember it being so star-studded.
Michelle Phillips. Hunt Block.
Hunt Block.
What is it? Yeah, Hunt Block is his name. He was in Hill Street Blues, Knots Landing, Equal, Dirty Dozen, Murder, She Wrote. Eric, that's all you, man.
Never watched Murder, She Wrote. I've never watched Murder, She Wrote. Why'd you say that's all me?
I always, for some reason, we've had this conversation before. For some reason, I thought you was a big Murder, She Wrote fan.
No.
But it was Matlock.
It was amusing.
Never watched Matlock.
No, I've never watched an episode of Matlock.
But Eric, you watched Matlock.
No, I did not. I watched Quincy.
There it is.
He watched Quinky and he watched In the Heat of the Night.
Yes.
So, Heat of the Night. My mom and dad watched In the Heat of the Night. Now they talk about how much they love that show. I don't know if it's the old one or the newer one.
Well, the old one's a movie.
Yeah.
So I got to read you a text from my son. And I won't get political. I don't want to get canceled. But anybody who knows me probably knows I could get political in this. So I had seen where some protests had broken out at OU. And so I texted him and I just told him, like,
steer clear.
Steer clear. And first off, I love this question. What are they protesting? But the next but the next text is what really cracks me up. I just got it. It says, I didn't see a protest, but I did see a wiener dog puppy. I'm like, that's my boy.
That's my boy.
In case you don't know, the Griffins we are a bit obsessed with dachshunds.
So Gary says Lisa Hartman was Mary's sister. There's another
Lisa Hartman Black.
Oh yeah,
because she married Clint Black, country singer Clint Black.
She did. All right. Visit our website, playitbyyourpodcast.com. Like I said, you can find every single one of our episodes up to date if you look at the YouTube thing. Like I said, if you weren't here at the beginning, I said I'm a little behind on posting the audio version, so I need to do that. And then, like Brady said, a lot of people listen to. I had someone the other day ask me or tell me that I was listening to you guys live and I wanted to pick up on it and I couldn't find the episode. So
yeah,
that's my fault.
One of our listeners, Tom Westner, was making sure we were okay because his schedule doesn't allow him to catch us live. And he's like, I haven't seen anything. So he's like, I said, it's coming. We've had a crazy schedule.
Go click on the YouTube. Go click on the YouTube. You don't have to watch the YouTube. You can listen to the YouTube. Same thing.
I was talking to my buddy Brad the other night. Abe's Lincoln's Brad, local band Cincinnati, good friend of mine from the music scene, and we were talking, and he was mentioning the time he chimed into the podcast with one of the greatest quotes ever. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines of, "I can't believe I just listened to 25 minutes, or to you guys talk about coleslaw for 25 minutes." And basically, I had to reassure him that that's still the gist of the podcast, and we're still going strong.
Yeah.
But he made the comment that he joined because we had like one listener or one person like on our Facebook Live or whatever. And so he kind of joined out of pity is what he was basically saying. And I said, well, I have, we've been averaging right around 20 people.
How many's in the room right now?
During our Facebook Live.
9.
So, okay. So we're not quite there, but either way, what that made me realize is that even if there were just one, we would still be right here.
Yes.
Being the same way as if there were
100 people,
100 people, or 1,000 people, or, So what I'm trying to say is we appreciate you guys make this better. We say it all the time. If you wonder why we've never looked back once we went Facebook Live with this, it's because of this. If it's just 3 people, 4 people, 5 people chiming in, you make it much more exciting than just us sitting around a table looking at each other.
See, here's the real gist of the show from Chris. Todd gets political. Brady
I
drops
knew you would
an
pick up on
F-bomb.
that.
And I'm the only pure host of this calamity podcast. I'm the only one holding this all together.
Pure.
You
know what pure rhymes with? Pure rhymes with manure. Pure manure.
I still stand behind what an underused word. If you look at the etymology of manure, is it specific to cattle? Because you've heard a lot of people use euphemisms, but you've never heard somebody say, "Man, I took a wicked manure the other day." Like you never hear people use that word.
Here's why. Well, there's 2 things there. First off, I have heard horse manure before.
It has to be a hooved mammal.
But I think what it is, Brady, is you just tried to change parts of speech. Not to get all 4th grade reading on you, but you just tried to change it to a verb, and it doesn't work as a verb. I took a huge manure. Well, actually, it would be like
it's a noun. It's a noun and a verb. You don't hear anybody
it's like a
saying,
helping,
man,
like
cat's manuring out there.
Like took would be like a helping verb there. But what I'm getting at is if you say you're right, you don't say like, "Hey, watch out in the front yard up there. There's some dog manure." Like that would be a better use of it. Like you don't see it that way, but you would. You don't use manure in cows as that way. You don't say the cow took a manure either because it's not used as that. But you say there's some cow manure.
Yeah, manure is not a verb.
Yeah, You're using it as like a helping verb, like took as the helping verb, like took a manure.
The manure was tooken.
Or I guess I manured. I manured my pants.
All right, so here's the full circle conversation. We were talking about MASH. And Todd, you haven't got here with the show yet. That to me, Colonel Potter is probably the funniest of the characters. I think he's funnier than Hawkeye or BJ or anybody. But so he'll have these Sherman Potterisms where he's exclamating something about, and usually it has to do with manure or poop. Horse hockey, road apples, mule muffins,
road apples,
mule fritters. Monkey muffins, buffalo bagels.
So Pelican just an alliteration.
Yes.
All right. So who can come up with the best? If you're listening out there, who can come up with another alliteration like monkey? What was it? Monkey muffins.
Muffins.
What else was it?
We got cow cookies.
Cow cookies.
We got
monkey muffins.
Buffalo bagels. We got horse hockey. Mule muffins.
Right now, we have to come up with our own. Don't read any more, Aric, because we have to come up with our own alliteration, an animal, and a euphemism for feces.
Shark shiza.
Koala king dongs.
Not King Don's.
King. No. we all know we saw them King Dongs.
Well, now, if you're talking about koala king dongs, you may be talking about a different part of the body.
No, I was kidding
It's the
about
king of the
shark
jungle
size
right
up.
there.
So how about penguin pasta?
Savannah has to be alliteration, which just for those of you guys that have been out of school for a while, alliteration is when more than one word starts with the same beginning sound.
Buffalo brown boulders, according to Chris.
Oh gosh.
Llama links. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. Zebra zingers.
Capybara cabbage.
Capybara cakes.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I teed it up for you, Eric, and then
Yep,
you
I
Tiger
spiked.
Woods did. Yes. Spike. We just switched sports right there.
Yeah.
I teed it up for you.
Panther
I
pastries.
sat it.
Puppy pucks.
Ooh, I like that. Nice, Savannah.
It's good.
All right.
Are we off on this tangent? Or have
I
we
think so.
exhausted that?
I think so. Rabbit rolls.
We're going to be right in the middle of the game, and one's going to just pop into our head.
Yes. Capybara crepes.
Crepes.
Anywho, at least we know we're all mature. See, the ones chiming in, Gary, Chris, Savannah, you
Dingo
guys
donuts.
you're like us. You refuse to grow up, and I like
Yep.
to think that we're happier people because of it.
Yep. All right. The game.
Uh-oh. Hang on, I gotta get my sucker. I want to show you guys something. So I was talking about my son earlier, and like all of us, I'm proud of my kid. You guys are all proud. Eric, by the way, congratulations to PJ for his graduation here
Yes, thank you.
this past
Thank you.
weekend.
Thank you.
PJ, if you're listening out there, if you happen to listen later, congratulations, buddy.
Well, I will say this. I don't know about PJ. I don't know where we fall in his listening schedule, but he had one roommate who was there all 5 years with him. They lived in dorms together. They lived in an apartment 1 year together. So Dalton Carty is a great fan of the Play It By Ear podcast, to the point
Nice.
of PJ was giving me crap the other day, and Dalton says, "Are you going to allow, or PJ, are you going to give crap to," and he didn't say crap, but you're going to give crap to the star of the Play It By Ear podcast?
Oh.
Let's start. Well, clearly this kid's not right in the head. Isn't he? Thank you, though, for being a fan. Dalton,
Yes.
you said?
Dalton, yes.
Yeah. So reason I started this is because I get a text. I don't know. It's been a couple months back, and my son and his girlfriend were at some. I don't know where they were. Some place where like they sell discounted items or something like that. And he said, "Dad," he said, "I found I found a thing of Tootsie Roll Pops," because he knows I like Tootsie Roll Pops, specifically when we do the game on the podcast. And I didn't get back to him in time, but long story short, he bought them anyway. And so when I get home, I see this sitting on the counter.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh.
That is
A
a
good
love
boy.
for a father right there.
Yeah.
There is
And
no bigger show of appreciation for a father than that.
And I didn't even have to pay him back, which
That's
is
even
which is
better.
nice.
It's
That's right.
even better,
He's a college student. He's got all kinds of money.
right?
So anyway, I wanted to bring up and Brady, you have one graduating this year too,
Yeah.
from high school. Yeah.
Reagan she's got a couple more weeks. She's going to be graduating. So, I got
Lots to
feel
celebrate.
elderly.
Yeah, yeah.
Very much. All right. So again, the game is which one. So I have 2 cards in front of me, and each of those cards have a different scenario thing. You two have to argue which of those things would be the better case scenario. Now, you
Gotta
may
argue.
agree, and even if you agree, the audience will decide which is the better argument. So there's that. We have 7 people in the room, so we need all 7 of you to chime in on these arguments that these guys are going to give.
Is the Kyle King rule in effect?
Always.
Chris,
right.
are you paying attention out there? Kyle King rule?
Yeah. All right. We drew lots backstage like we always do. Todd, you'll go first. You'll have the first argument. All right. So the 2 scenarios.
Scenarii.
Todd, would you rather be in a situation where you have to sing every word that you say,
Or
Wow.
eat the same meal for the rest of your life?
Dang.
well, I am more of a musician than I am a singer. I am a backing vocalist in the slightest possible way, and what I mean by that is every once in a while, and only when other people are singing, like multiple other people are singing. So I don't fancy myself a singer. I know that the healthiest of people out there, not the healthiest, but there are very healthy people out there who are fit. And one of the keys to that is like, getting used to that, like boring eating, like, being okay with eating. And I'm not a fan of that. I like variety. Which is why I'm not healthy and fit. However, I think if I had to pick, I would pick eating the same thing. And I think it's going to be one of those deals. It's kind of like public speaking. Haven't there been studies where like public speaking is people's greatest fear, even over death? Like,
Yeah.
I think if people are being true to themselves, singing every word they say would be very akin to public speaking.
True.
And I can only think of one thing more fearful than public speaking, and that is singing everything that you're speaking in public. So I think that definitely is ranks as something I don't want to do. So I'm going to go with eating the same meal every day of my life.
All right. So expand upon your thoughts here. What is the meal that you could stand to eat for the rest of your life?
Well, and Aric, I think you really just left me a pathway. Not surprisingly, because Aric is the king of pathways. Aric is the king of, we could go up here 3 miles and turn right, but I'd rather take like a pathway through somebody's chicken coop and their backyard gravel.
And ford the pond.
What is my credo? My credo is I need to have at least three ways to get everywhere. You can never be in a situation where you can't get somewhere if you have.
Well, you left me an opening there, and I think I'm going to be able to defend my argument pretty well because you're exactly right. I get to pick whatever that meal is. Now, if you said sing every word for the rest of your life or eat celery sans peanut butter or sans cream cheese, basically stalks of wet hair for the rest of your life. But since I get to pick it, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had some burnt ends and macaroni and cheese earlier tonight. That could work every day. Every day.
Burnt ends.
Pizza?
Yeah.
But once you pick, it's there.
You're right. But I'm saying, like, if I have free pick, then I think I can make do.
May I?
No, I'm done. Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy that gives up my Chinese and Thai. Don't want to say goodbye to my food.
I see what you're doing. I don't like it, but I see what you're doing.
Yeah. I no, I'm joking. I think I'm gonna go. I don't want to be non-creative, but I think I could eat maybe pizza or some kind of pasta every day and be perfectly happy. But I think I would get sick of being Rodgers and Hammerstein for the rest of my life. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Because
fluid.
imagine that you have to sing through all emotions. Ooh, God.
Let me post that comment. Questions should be sing everything you say or eat pool water log sandwiches the rest of his life.
I thought of you the other day, Todd. I was
Here's
doing
why that's gross. Because not only is that food wetted from pool water, but that pool water has deodorant particles, toe jam in it, feces, urine samples. It has everything else in it. So it's not just like clear, pure water from some mountain spring somewhere. It is jaded water. It is
soiled.
water.
Todd, I thought of you the other day because, like, I was cleaning off. I had made some cinnamon rolls, and somehow the empty cookie sheet thing that I made them on got flipped over, and I was getting ready to wash them, and I flipped it over. There was a bunch of wet residue from a cinnamon roll stuck to it, and I got stuck on my hand. And I didn't get sick. I just laughed because all I could think of is you retching in the background.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. As soon as you said that, I seriously, like, my arms got like weak and
Knocking your microphone over.
no, seriously, like, damn it.
I got him all bothered.
What a limp. What a no, I got tingles up my arms and my like chest plate like started tingling.
You about had the same reaction that I had with the word spleen.
You did.
I understand your spleen issue. Ugh.
Now, to be fair, the spleen discussion had to do with mononucleosis and swollen spleen.
Yes,
that's what really put
referring to my swole spleen.
So who's more pathetic? The person who gets weak need at spleen, the person who gets weak need at wet food, or the person who gets or the person who gets weak need at testicular cancer checks in the shower.
I think that is understandable. I think maybe the other two aren't, but I think that
mind you, he was doing his own check, not somebody else.
That comes from someone who's never perfected the pinch and roll method in their life.
It's like burrowed in your DNA. I mean, how do you not perfect that?
I don't think anybody's voted.
Yeah, we need votes. So who has the best argument? Brady, I don't know if you made an argument really.
If you're singing,
I just
Todd, you
agree
better
with
drink
Todd.
up on that special elixir Richard Marx gave you. Have I told you, Chris, what I think about Richard Marx?
You may have mentioned it once or twice. Twice. Gary says 100% daily recommended intake for all those things. I'm assuming he's referring to the pool water that you mentioned.
Gosh. I if anybody is just now chiming into the show and has not done the Chris Devil Bliss, go back and listen to our entire catalog. One of my most vivid memories of swimming pools are not my favorite things. Bodies of water in general aren't my favorite things. First off, I don't like to swim real well. Second off, I used to get real bad ear, like anytime I went swimming, I got swimmer's ear real bad. I'm a fair-skinned lad, so I get sunburnt in the summer. There's many reasons why I'm not a fan of water. However, one of my most vivid memories as a kid is like walking around the Lake Winoka pool and just seeing remnants of people's food that they had eaten out on the concrete slabs with ants crawling on it. Like you have a half-eaten melted ice cream cone. Ants. You had a strawberry. What's those things called?
Crunch
the
bar.
Crumbles or the
they look like aquarium gravel in an ice cream bar.
Yeah.
And
like a half-eaten sandwich, like because people just let their kids eat at the pool. That's gross.
Deep-seated issues from your childhood.
Savannah mentioned peanut butter. See, Savannah, the peanut butter and pickle thing. I like peanut butter like pickles, so I can see a world where those two can. It doesn't gross me out. But if it were wet, peanut butter and pickles.
Well, wait. I mean, this is not a Reese cup. Can't put peanut butter and pickles together. Hey, your pickle fell into my peanut butter.
That sounds like I think you got some explaining to do there.
Speaking of Lake Winoka.
I think there's a park that took place at.
Yeah,
and I as I look back on that, I wonder, because I've always been a bit of an old soul for as immature as I am, but I wonder if what disgusted me more was the wet food or the fact that parents just give their kids a food item and just let them walk around the damn pool, the perimeter of the pool, eating it.
You were the get off my lawn guy at age
I
7.
was.
Gosh, turn that.
You know
music
whose
down.
kids weren't allowed to eat near the pool? My kids.
I think I can make an
That's like
executive
eating in the
decision.
hot tub.
here.
You don't eat in the hot tub.
Well, I don't know that Brady made an argument.
I really didn't
I can
agree with
give a
Todd, so the
point
Todd
to-
gets that point.
He agreed with
Odd.
me. You said we could agree. Yeah.
Right, but you still had to give an argument. that
Yeah,
could be judged.
I just kind of said what he said.
Chris said you rather
Sometimes
be.
going first helps in this game.
Chris said you'd rather be forced to dance to a song that ordered you to eat at a buffet of salads such as potato salad, fruit. And
So Chris, I'm going to be honest with you, man. You would crack up at some of the texts that we send each other. And anytime I'm eating any kind of salad, these guys would turn their nose up at. I send them pictures of
yeah,
it.
he makes sure to send pictures.
So the other day, I sent him a picture of a vat of ham salad, broccoli salad, and what was the other thing? Oh, Jarlsberg cheese.
I'm only his friend. He wants some Jarlsberg cheese. It's Yemmy Monkey's favorite.
I also send him a picture anytime I put my cottage cheese and coleslaw up again it and in it.
Cheese. Anytime
Now-
he goes to Aunt Pam's lunchbox and gets one of those things.
Now, Chris, I don't mean to question the play it by ear historian here, but fruit salad, I've said that it has been my stance forever. Salad can have fruit in it or lettuce in it, but not both. And anything outside of the realm of fruit salad, lettuce salad is not a salad.
What does salad mean? What's the
I know
legit
what it. I
definition?
know what it means to me.
No, but what is the actual definition of salad?
It's kind of like the Supreme Court definition of pornography. I can't define it, but I know it when I see it.
Exactly.
So are you telling me?
So the Third Circuit here deems salad as being fruit
Oh, I'm the first
or
circuit.
lettuce. All right,
Oh.
definition of salad. A cold dish of various mixtures of raw or cooked vegetables, usually seasoned with oil, vinegar, or other dressing, and sometimes accompanied by meat, fish, or other ingredients.
Fist salad.
So are you telling me that when Toshiro Takashi said, "Look like salad" on Revenge of the Nerds, and he was talking about jockey straps, are you telling me that he was wrong? That did not look like salad?
He said it. He said looks like salad. He didn't say it was salad.
That's true. But what I'm saying is it does not look like green lettuce and other salad fixins. It's the fact that all the jockey straps were all mixed up. So I think salad has something to do with mixed up.
Well, no, he was taking the little tongs. and-
Tongs.
He was tossing the salad.
He was
Gosh, I stepped in a bear trap there.
I think that was Lamar.
Cancel.
Yeah. Once you throw the javelin, you can't take it back, Aric.
All right. Salad is a dish consisting of mixed ingredients, frequently vegetables.
Mixed. The mixed part is what you're missing.
Yeah. Well, no, I
Gosh,
just
Savannah.
said it. This is the Wikipedia. Salad is a dish consisting of mixed ingredients, frequently vegetables. They are typically served chilled or at room temperature, though some may be served warm. Warm salad. No, I mean, I don't even.
Dude.
Condiments and salad dressings, which exist in a variety of flavors, are often used to enhance the salad.
Well, German potato salad is warm.
9.
So there's all kinds of comments here. So first off, Carrie is one of my dearest, oldest friends. She's not old, but we've been friends the longest, is what I meant. My favorite salad is spinach and strawberries. So I think that passes Aric's test. You can
No.
have fruit in salad, right?
No, not both. Either spinach or strawberries, not both.
Thank you, Gary. Gary finally is going to shine some light and null set Aric's opinion here about salad. A mixture containing a specified ingredient served with a dressing, i.e., tuna salad.
Where is this communist definition, Gary? Where did you come up with that?
Have you
Did
ever
you
known
find
Gary
that?
to be
Das Kapital
have
by
you
Karl
ever known
Marx.
Gary to be wrong on any comment he makes?
I will say it. I can't remember what it was. I believe. No, I think I only said, Gary, you missed an opportunity.
Yeah,
And I can't remember what that was.
Gary, I got something amusing to share with you. So Gary and I have a cousin, John Whitney, and I rarely talk to Johnny, and I'm guessing Gary probably talks to him even less. But I do every once in a while. I'll send him a message out of the blue, and that's kind of the great thing. We won't talk for 6 months, and I'll send him a message out of the blue. He'll message me back. So the other day, I messaged him and I said, you should check out our podcast sometime. And I said, Gary. Cousin Gary watched. I said, Gary's very witty. He's very funny, brilliant mind, and very funny. And Johnny replied back with, well, he does come from a long line of smartasses. And so, so I think what he's saying, Gary, is we come from a long line of smartasses. So there's no surprise that we are also smartasses.
Right. It's in the DNA. So Chris further extrapolates on my history. I think I'm having a therapy session here. So he feels the whole salad hatred that I have has derived from a bad experience that may have sent him to the doorless stalls of Sardinia Elementary. And I don't know if that's scared or scarred since, I guess either way, but that could be, that may be some heed. Shut it!
The doorless stalls at the doorless stalls at Sardinia Elementary, man.
Chris, I got to be honest, man. You have a way with words. You should write.
Yes.
You should.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're very eloquent, Chris.
Savannah, unfortunately, John is not. He's not still racing.
All right. So Gary says that definition is his understanding. So
Savannah, did you know that you mentioned bologna salad? A lot of ham salad has bologna in it.
That bright pink salad that the cooks made at Lynchburg High School my first year of teaching.
No, you never ever had ham salad at school.
Bologna salad. It was bologna
salad.
And it was like one of the last days of school.
They had to get rid of the ingredients
because it's a
and it looked
celebration
like
time.
meat and bismuth.
Misbeth.
Coming to see you, Misbeth.
We won't hold that against you, Chris. And somehow you still are a great writer.
Yes.
Well,
all right. Shall we move on now, Gary?
We've all agreed that I am the most adventurous eater, but I still, I don't know. Like, I think if I could get you guys, we still need to have that episode. Maybe when we do our next live episode, that needs to be when it is. Our next live episode, you guys need to try some of this stuff that you're poo-pooing and I'm
Oh, I
betting you
have,
at least
which
like
is why I
50%
hentai
of it.
poo.
You want me
I
to
bet-
vomit in front of a live audience?
I bet you were like, no, 'cause
I've
see, that
not
would keep you from
vomited
vomiting.
since 1998. I'm not vomiting in front of a live audience.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Savannah, I understand the question. I mean, I've probably mentioned here. I grew up. I went to my first race when I was 5 weeks old. I grew up at the racetrack, and my uncle. What you might not know is Johnny's dad, John, raced for many years, and then Johnny. I actually worked for Johnny and a couple of different race teams he had and stuff. So yeah, I knew your question. I understood it, but he's not racing anymore. No, that I know of.
Yeah. So Gary Googled salad meaning and it gave 3 definitions, including Gary's and mine. So I'm not wrong.
No, I don't think you're wrong. But I think your perimeters of what a salad consists of are in your own head. I think salad means a mixture. No matter how you look at it, it's a mixture of things.
I'm a strict constructionist when it comes to salad.
I mean, we all can agree that like the Jellos with shredded cheese on top are blasphemous and
That
heretical.
stinker salad you sent us a picture of a couple weeks ago, Todd. That just looked absolutely terrible.
Ah, Savannah, Weasel's your uncle.
Well, I didn't know that.
I
about
saw
that?
Weasel race many a times. Yes. How is Weasel? For those of you listening, Weasel is a nickname for a man named John. John Rhodes.
Because his dad was named John.
Yeah. So, but I don't know, guys. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not a picky eater, but I like sandwich spreads, ham salads. I like.
A spread should not be a primary ingredient of a sandwich.
But my argument has always been, Aric and Brady, is that if you called it something else, you guys wouldn't have a problem with it.
Probably not.
I would still have a problem with it, but I would not. I wouldn't. What do you call it? Fuss about the nomenclature. I would just. Be
I go along with what Brady
but
said. I still would not eat it.
But I have no. But would you guys agree though that you have narrowed your definition of salad to not include things that by definition are salads?
By certain people's definition are salad.
By Wikipedia, what are you talking about?
No, so let me put Gary's comment up here again. He Googled salad meaning and gave 3, including mine and his, and probably yours. So
but I think mixture is in all of them.
I'm a strict constructionist when it comes to salad. I'm not a liberal constructionist. I don't take any old mixture as a salad. It's got to be certain parameters.
But I think you've just taken certain foods that you like and said it's okay to mix those and call them a salad, like fruits. So I can have a fruit salad, no lettuce.
Yeah, right.
But if I take lettuce and I put some cranberries in there, it's not a salad?
No. No. Liberal constructionism.
Salad roint with cranberries.
Liberal constructionism is why this country is going to hell in a handbasket. We got to get back to the parameters of life.
Aric, you're going to get canceled.
It starts with salad. That's why they're having riots at OU, partially because of salad definition.
Because some joker put some mandarin oranges on a ham salad.
Yeah.
And called it a thing.
No. See, now grapes can be in a ham salad or a chicken salad sometimes. Have I won this game yet? I think I got the first point.
You're winning. This game seems to be taking on a life of its own. All right.
Beauty in it.
All right, Brady. This will be a particular. I know what Todd's going to answer here. So I'll just put that out there. Say, Brady, would you rather, or I guess which one would be more palatable to you? Surf in shark-infested waters, or wear the same pair of socks for 3 years.
Surf's up, dude.
What?
I would be more likely to die of a toe infection from wearing the same socks for 3 years than one of those sharks pestering me on my board.
From accumulated toe jam.
Aric, this question's loaded. It's loaded whichever side you go to.
This is mere
First
luck
off,
of the draw. Go ahead.
Brady's answer doesn't make any sense.
Oh, it does.
No, it doesn't. Now, Brady, if you are a world-class athlete, if you are someone who maybe isn't a world-class athlete, but runs every day, or even walks a few miles every day, I can understand how nasty, sweaty, gross socks can get. But let's be honest here. We're all middle-aged. Our socks probably aren't any different on Thursday than they were Tuesday.
And I am
Don't
blessed with non-sweaty feet. For the most
You've
part.
mentioned that. That's why I'm saying your answer is more poppycock.
Well, no, I
you're
enjoy
blessed with
the
non-sweaty
invigoration of
feet.
salt water and being chased by a shark.
So you're telling me you would rather be, what was it, Aric? Chased by a shark for
Surf and shark infested waters.
So they might not even bother me. They might be perfectly fed because there could be sea lions and stuff around.
No, they're not. You're going to look exactly like a damn sea lion when you flop down on your board, and you're going to get your ass eaten. But here's what I promise you: if you wear the same socks for 3 years, nobody's going to know. Nobody.
Oh, they will.
No, because you take them off at night, you hang them out to dry,
and they all die from.
and you put them back on in the morning, and none the wiser.
I guess I thought they were on my feet for good. Like I'm not allowed to take them off or anything. They're just on my feet.
Well, there have been some questions asked here. Jim says, "Can you wash the socks?" And Savannah says the card doesn't say socks can't be washed.
I was thinking that you just couldn't take them off. That you'd have to wear them wet if you bathed.
Oh, see now
I'm going to worst case scenario there.
You are, and I've seen your feet.
Your feet should never see the light of day.
Which is why I want to be in that water.
No man's feet should ever see the light of day.
Well,
it's like the old Odyssey. No man's feet should ever see the light of day. But I just can't imagine that if I had the choice, if you say, okay, you're gonna, and was this once? You're surfing once in shark infested waters?
I just think of like being out there on the board, and I just had to get back to shore, and then I would have my freedom of feet.
We also have to think about the word infested. It doesn't mean that every once in a great while they see a fin. We're talking infested. They're
what if
everywhere.
They're sharks that have no teeth?
You got fins to the left,
fins to the left,
fins to the right,
fins at day, fins at night. It's teeming with sharks.
teeming,
riddled,
festered,
chock full,
festooned with sharks.
It's a bonanza of sharkery.
It's overflowing with the greatest killing machine on the planet. I'm going socks all day long, and I would be willing to bet you wouldn't even know it. There's no way if I had the same socks on 2 years straight. If I put the at night, I go to bed, I take my socks off. In the morning, I put the same socks on. I'm betting you wouldn't know 3 years later I'm wearing the same socks.
Would the acidity of your foot cause the socks to not last 3 years?
And that's again, I think it depends on who you are. Us? Yeah. No. But, I mean, if you're huffing the sock, I mean, if you're maybe. I don't think you realize how the perfect killing machine a shark is.
So once I hit that water, my vibrations go out around that water and say, I am no threat. Don't eat me. Just let me pass through. And they listen.
Now you're going to flop in the water and you're going to get your ass eaten by a shark. And I'm going to be sitting there with my socks on.
Laughing.
I'm going to show up at your funeral. It's going to be closed casket because you're going to be bitten into 1,000 pieces.
But nobody's going to be attending because there's a foul smell because somebody's feet stink. This is ludicrous.
Gary says the card doesn't say they're not baby sharks either. The
doo-doo comes after you see the sharks.
Yeah. All right. So whose argument is better, Todd's or Brady's? Brady's that he would go
James asked, "Can you
surfing.
wash the socks?" And then Chris alluded on that too. Like it says, he said, "Well, no." Savannah said the card doesn't say the socks can't be washed. I
Yeah,
agree,
right.
but I'm gonna take it a step farther, friends, and say it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. All right. What do we say, audience? Brady or Todd? Would you surf in the shark infested waters like Brady, or would you wear the same socks?
Teeming with sharks,
Team.
overrun.
Plethora of sharks, a myriad of sharks.
A cornucopia of sharkdom.
We're not talking. They saw a fin 5 or 6 months ago.
Savannah says Todd.
We're not talking they filmed Jaws here. There's actually no sharks. We're talking it's riddled. It is seething with sharks. It's bubbling
Festooned.
over. It is a bubbling cauldron of sharks.
All right, we got one vote for Todd. Anybody else?
A miasma of sharks. I waited till you took a drink.
A shit ton of sharks.
I think. Is anybody out there?
I don't know.
You get quiet.
Multitudinous sharks.
A shark hatchery, if you will.
Oh. You're coming in fast and furious now. Jim says Todd. Chris gonna vote Brady just to make me be the deciding vote. Ooh.
A panoply of sharks.
Gary says Brady. So we got 2 for Brady and 2 for Todd, which is kind of making that the case that I'm going to have to break this tie here.
Be that guy to break the tie.
All right, I'll do it.
A cluster of sharks.
A
caboodle of sharks.
a kit and a caboodle of sharks.
An agglomeration of sharks.
Myriad, profuse, abundant, copious
Copious
Sharks.
amount of sharks.
A clump of sharks.
innumerable.
A wad of
Easy. Yeah, didn't hear sharks are not human or inhuman.
You didn't have to hear it, Gary. You just knew it.
All right, so my tie-breaking vote is I'm non-aquatic. I do not like sharks. So I most certainly would be wearing the socks. Without a doubt.
Rightfully so.
I
And I'll throw this on there. Not that I need it, because I think you're leaning my way. But wearing socks every day for the same socks every day for 3 years isn't going to kill you.
It might.
No.
It may make others vomit.
No,
But-
Brady has a point. It could. I mean, if you got a foot infection, I mean, it's possible. Not as possible as a shark biting your gluteus off.
Exactly. You know what? It's nice to have feet. You know what sharks like to eat? Feet.
Feet.
The agony of defeat.
All right. So my vote is Todd.
I would rather wear the same socks every day than not have a use for socks. I'd rather not come back to my drawer and see a
There's always
drawer
a
full of
use for
socks and say,
socks.
you know what?
Rah.
Throw them all out. I don't need those socks. I have 2 missing feet.
All right. So we're at the 2-hour mark. Todd, you're leading 2-0. Do you agree for this? You want to take your victory, or are you willing to go along with a 3-pointer to end the game?
Oh, let's go with a 3-pointer. I made my living on the 3-point line.
But I'm not North Adams, sir. That's where Todd had, what was it, 7 threes against.
Yeah, 6, but still.
6.
I could have had more had I shot more.
All right, Todd, first argument is yours.
All right.
Which one? Have a snake in your toilet
What?
Or run 15 minutes late to every occasion. Probably even your own funeral.
That's a no-brainer. You know, there's certain parts of my body that I don't want to expose to the fangs of a snake.
We didn't say I had fangs.
All of them have fangs.
No.
When's the last
they do
toothless
not.
snake you saw?
No, they have teeth, but they don't all have fangs.
Either way,
I'm
my
a science
nether
teacher. Don't
regions.
cross me on this.
My nether regions. Well, I'm not, but still, they all can do some damage to your undercarriage.
Yeah.
And I can't think of anything more freaking terrifying than sitting on the toilet looking down and seeing a freaking asp latching onto my taint
Or your tisn't.
or my tisn't. I can't think of anything. The snake or the shark, that's not even as scary as the shark. Because here's why. If I get killed by a shark, I'm in the shark's home. Some could say I deserve it. But if I'm sitting on my toilet, that snake's in my home. It just happens to be coming up from beneath
live
my
in a
favorite
toilet?
seat in my home.
Oh,
So
Brady?
it's easy. What was the second option?
Run 15 minutes late to every occasion.
I mean, I do have a problem with that too. I'm not a fan of tardiness, but that's easy. That's a no-brainer. This snake and bake, no way.
that would be Bweet, Chris. Bweet.
Breed with a W. A W.
Bleat.
Brady?
Okay, so I'm gonna think about this too much because I'm already varying like my distinction between the teeth and the fangs. Is this snake agitated? Well, probably will be if you're sitting on the toilet. But, do we know we are talking about a reptile or are we talking about a euphemism
I would think it's a reptile.
or the thing that cleans out a toilet block like the toilet snake?
I'm
Um,
rather positive it's a reptile.
I'm just checking, being thorough.
Now, Brady, something you need to keep in mind here. Doesn't matter if it's a snake that bites, because if certain things hang down low enough, a constrictor can do some damage.
Well, if I know
Gosh.
it's,
I mean,
Burmese
if we're
python could
talking about Brady.
remove a testicle.
Brady,
Nobody wants to know that.
I'm going to be honest. I mean, nobody wants a viper on their piper. I mean, come on.
An asp on their ass.
You have an asp on your ass.
What did I just fit my ass?
I don't want an adder shoot my bladder. I mean, if you know what I mean.
An adder on your bladder?
An adder on my bladder, yes. I don't want a python on my python, if you know what I mean.
A mamba on my bamba.
I don't want an anaconda on my Benny Honda. I mean,
oh, a garter on my parter. Let's see. No, I hate being late. It gives me anxiety. But I'm trying to. So, if I know it's there, if I know that when I sit upon this throne that it's lurking down there, I could possibly cover my parts and say, Mr. Snake, I'm only going to be eclipsing the light for a moment. If you move to the side, you won't get hit with anything.
in my pants.
So I'm just going to say, look out below and just be careful and I will not bother you. But
as Chris says here, you don't think conducting commerce in the area of the snake would not agitate it?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Are we gonna splatter the adder? Sorry. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
He's broken.
That
He's
snake's
broken.
down there going, it's boulders, weeds, and toads, weeds and toads. I don't know.
Here's the sad thing. No, go ahead.
No, I think no matter how I rationalize this in my mind, it's probably gonna have to be late 15 minutes. If I could guarantee the snake's calmitude, but I can't.
So we both have the same argument here.
So why didn't you take the same approach with the snake as you did the shark?
Because I'm more at one at the sea than I am
on the can.
Yeah, I don't feel vulnerable when I'm in the water. When I'm sitting on the squatter, I am. Like that is everybody's most vulnerable moment. That's why they put doors on there, because if nobody cared, it'd just be every place would be Sardinia Elementary, the old Sardinia Elementary. But like that vulnerability, I don't feel vulnerable when I'm cutting a sleek profile through the water on my board. But when I'm sitting there dangling the bits right over that's not good. That's pretty vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yes, Jim, if you were being commerced upon all the time, yes, I would be upset.
Well, but that's assuming the snake lives in the toilet.
Yeah, why doesn't it just move on? Is it living there, or does it just happen to be, caught in a bad position?
I assume it's as confused as I am. But the difference is I can't bite my own taint where the snake can.
If you bite your own taint, you never leave the house.
I don't think that's how that works. Gary's got a couple gems
in the general region.
Region.
How are you going to be on time with a snake in your toilet? That'll slow down commerce more than 15 minutes.
Yes, the conduction of commerce.
Yes. No thanks to a reptile dysfunction.
Oh.
We joke about this, but this happens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a real thing.
Could you imagine?
Being late all the time, I know.
I mean, but like there are two scenarios here. Scenaries. There are two of them. One of them is you're looking down between your legs and you see the head of the serpent.
So is it looking up at you? Like when you're looking down, are you looking at Squaw in the face and it's looking at you?
Yeah, like you guys are it's questioning you, like, what are you throwing at me? And you're questioning it, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Or what's worse, you don't look down.
You're just surprised.
And it just bites. It just bites whatever. It bites the first thing it sees.
Or constricts.
Yeah. Now, Brady, the first thing it sees with you is a little different than the first thing it sees with me and Aric. I mean, but
throw it in the lifeline.
Like, if you had a choice, like what's worse?
Snake may not even need to emerge from the hole.
Buoys. No.
The snake could actually be way back in the septic. The septic serpent.
Instead of a serpent giving you sepsis.
Celia, you're not listening anymore. So question is, would you rather have a snake come up in the toilet when you're using it, or be 15 minutes late for everything the rest of your life? Ask Riley.
What does the Griffin household say?
Getting a poll of the Griffin household.
What she said?
Snake's getting too.
Does it bite you? What makes a difference? Riley wants to know if it bites her.
Doesn't
Well,
say.
I
The-
think
It
that's
could.
the mystery.
That's the point.
The
That's what's
capability
adding
is
the
there.
anxiety. If it's just laying there and you know it's going to stay. Oh, now, hey,
She's
if it's
picking
cold
the snake.
toilet water, it'll go
She's
into
picking-
hypothermia because it's it's exothermic. So the cold water would slow down the snake because it wouldn't be able to move because its body temperatures drop too much. Am I overthinking?
Yes.
Well, let me ask you a question. What if you got a good old case of the shithouse polio?
I don't know what that is.
I have no clue what that is.
I can't
It's a
imagine.
great
Gary
band name.
I can't imagine Gary didn't grow up a Griffin in the Griffin family and not hear of shithouse polio.
Please tell me what that is.
Look it up. Who can Google it?
I'm Googling it. Condition making one's legs shaky and unresponsive following moderate to long sessions sitting on a toilet.
Is that the bum gnome? Is that the same thing?
But imagine your slow motion ass trying to run away from a snake if you have a case of the shithouse polio.
That is the greatest term ever. I've heard no better term in my life than that.
Can we still make fun of that? I
the
mean, is that something we can still
lupus?
say?
Oh,
I can't believe you guys haven't heard of that.
No, never. Oh, this game's over.
Yeah.
Todd gets a point just for bringing that up.
Yeah, oh yeah, he gets 3 points. that terminology was worth all 3 points. There's nothing else need be said.
The
Please tell me
guano
somebody else
mono.
listening has heard that term before.
Now we're doing it again. We have the pupus lupus and the guano mono.
So Gary, elaborate. I can't stand this.
He can't stand because get it?
Ah, yes. See, he's had a case of it.
That is my goal. I've got to find a way to weave that into a conversation sometime by the end of the week.
Lavatory polio. Oh gosh, I'm hurting.
Should be poop house polio, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
The alliteration.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Outstanding game, gentlemen.
We're all winners tonight.
Yeah, yes, we are.
The world is a winner. The world is a better place.
Just from that term.
This might be the first episode in a long time where Russia isn't going to ban us.
This is true. Some other country might ban us, but probably not Russia. All right. Anything else for good? Anything else for?
I mentioned the two-step. I think Vietnam might ban us. The porta
Chris.
Oh, if it's giving you the shakes, man.
Really?
Oh.
the
He's broken again.
I'm gonna text it to you guys.
Oh no.
Not suitable for the show. Anything else for the good of the order, gentlemen?
It's supposed to be good. Todd can't hardly move to.
I'll take that as a no. Audio. Audio. Fine. Trying to close this show out. You're sending me texts like that.
Oh, I'm crying. Brady fell. He fell over. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Andy.
Chris, Chris messages if you want to know what I just
Yeah,
texted.
I'll message him right now.
Gary's looking forward to how I name this episode. Shit. All right. Audio, as I said, I'm behind on the audio, but once I get everything uploaded, everything will be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app. Most anywhere you find audio podcast, video wise. We're on Spotify. Actually, I think Spotify should be caught up. I mean, all the video episodes should be there, but Spotify, YouTube,
Twitch.
Social medias, Facebook, Instagrams, X, all those links are on our website. Interact via email, admin@playitbyyourpodcast.com. You can also leave a voice message. We have a link at our website, or you can find the podcast provider, the audio podcast provider, also have a link. Anything else, gentlemen, before we get canceled?
I just sent it to Chris. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if he reacts in any way. Oh gosh.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my goodness.
We're okay, really.
All right.
So gentlemen, we seriously need to talk about this live episode this summer.
We do.
I got to be honest. I mean, Savannah was there. The last. I mean, obviously Savannah. We had the situation there, but like it was a great get together.
Yeah.
So, and I have a feeling this time Gary would show up, Chris would show up. I mean,
yeah.
Chris
We'll
should be the MC.
Yeah.
There we go. We'll discuss it. We'll put information out there when we come to a conclusion is what we'll do with that. But all right. So we've been how many attended last time?
So I think we counted. I think there were 30.
Yeah,
30 or 40.
I had 50 in my mind.
I think you say 50 came to mind too. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of
more
people.
than what we thought would.
Oh yeah. All right. So we've been kind of landing on Wednesdays. We'll see what next week brings us, but stay tuned to our social medias, and we'll let you know when we will be on next. So
The interwebs.
yes, who would like to take us out?
Many people after this episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter @Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.